10 minutes. I
Good
saw
morning,
you come
John.
on.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Good morning,
we got,
John.
we got all kinds of topics going
Hello,
on.
John.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to
Good
our
morning.
Fun Friday Daily Success
Yeah.
Call, Friday,
Morning.
March 27, 2020.
Morning.
Who's hosting
live.
today? Malcolm, are you hosting?
No, I've had enough, John. You get in there. Take over, man.
Okay. Okay.
You are live.
We are live and we are
Oh, wait.
recording.
I
How's it
think
going,
so. I'm
everybody?
not sure.
I see Jason. I see Reese. Hey, Reese, welcome to you. Let me kill my other sound here. It's talking in my ear. Let's see who else we got here on the crew. There's John Hyder. There's Mark. There's Jackie and her
Yep.
curtain, as usual.
Jason.
There she is in her
Sorry.
natural habitat. I see
Yep.
Esther. I don't hear Esther, but I see Esther in her kitchen. Hey, Esther.
Esther was
Good
making
stuff.
bread.
She's doing it. There's Nigel. Hey, Sylvia. Jaron, good to see you, of course. And Malcolm,
Morning.
Carol Ann, and Giannis. Hey,
Hey,
Giannis.
guys.
Good to see you guys. Hi, Ian. And
Morning.
there's Shireen. Welcome, guys. Neil and Elise. Wow, everybody's here. And even more and more people that I can even fit on the screen. Good to see you all. We're gonna have a fun little conversation today. I walked in on your pre-session meeting, which I thought was enlightening. I didn't know that Malcolm comes from a long line of circus carnies or what have you. Yes. So
That's it, John. My
So-
mother was a tightrope walker.
I would have never suspected. Yeah, I would have
Please.
never.
Part of the
suspected.
conversation.
Email address?
This is great. I'm going to go ahead and mute the line so we can hear ourselves. Malcolm, I would have never suspected that your family was a long line of the circus act people. But maybe that's a direction we could go in with all this. I don't know. People like to be entertained, man. People, you know what we should probably do?
Go.
We should probably have on Fridays, we should have somebody come up with a joke. We should start with a joke. It's got to be clean, no offensive stuff. But like joke of the week, I'm thinking might be a good thing. Let me see if I can come up with one. Unless somebody else has something on the top of their mind.
Well, everybody's laughing because of the circus. Never mind
Well,
anything else.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should require and demand that Malcolm offers a joke once a week. So,
I was doing the Globe of Death, John, at 14.
wow.
That's where I started with my motorbikes, the Globe of Death. You know, the big ball.
Yeah. Oh, I know it. Yeah.
At Bellevue in Manchester. You'll see my name in lights there.
Right.
And at night I was doing the Speedway with the Aces, yeah,
Mhm.
and the truck cars in the day. It was just mad.
Wow. Well, you know what? Arizona Bike Week happens the first week of April every year, except this
Love
year.
to come.
Right.
Love to go.
Yeah. So and one of the things that they do, it's mostly, bikers, and we have, concerts, and I saw, let's see, who did I see there? ZZ Top played there. Was it last year or
Right.
the year before? They were supposed to have Leonard Skinner this year. I guess they dragged those guys up. But George Thorogood and the Destroyers were there. I saw Rat there one year.
Yeah,
Anyway,
brilliant.
but they always have the Globe of Death there, and the motorcycles, 2 or 3 of them at a time, going
That's
through
it. Yeah.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
anyone's ever seen that act, that is just all about timing and centrifugal force. And they
Yeah.
have a girl, scantily clad girl, standing in the center of the globe, and all the bikes are going around her. It's nauseating to look at, but
Just to do.
yeah, interesting stuff. Good to see you, Malcolm, as always.
And you, pal.
And
you.
and my friend,
John,
yes, go ahead.
do you know why the mushroom was invited to the party?
Oh, why the matron was invited to the
No,
party? I don't know, to be honest. Why?
The mushroom.
The
The mushroom.
The mushroom. Oh, the mushroom was
Why?
invited. Okay, why was the
Yeah.
mushroom invited to the party? Yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
Because he's a fun guy.
Oh, there it is.
Well
Well done. Well done, Giannis. Well done. Because he's a fun guy. All right, there's our joke of the week. Thank you, Giannis. All right, we're gonna go ahead and I got a topic actually that was that you guys just introduced before we went live. Let me go ahead and mute the mics again. We got a little bit of background noise. I'm looking for this actually right now. There's a quote. There's a passage from a book that I was reminded of as I was hearing you guys talk. If I can find it real quick, I'll pull it up. And it has to do with getting paid what you're worth. So, and I'm not finding it just based on the words that I'm typing in here. But the idea here is there was a conversation between a potential employer and someone looking for a job. And there was an opportunity for this person to take on the work and to work for like a basic salary or whatever. And then based on their statistics, based on their production, they would get paid what they're worth, right? And then the person thought about that because they just wanted to get paid a generous amount without having to produce so much. And so they said, well, no, I don't like that deal. You're going to measure my stats and pay me what I'm worth. I'm making more than that already at the job that I'm currently at. So that's kind of the punchline for it. And to hear, to hear the words, to hear that conversation. I don't know if that was a real event. Knowing society, it probably was. This is out of Think and Grow Rich, original text, by the way, back in 1936. So here's the person looking for the job. They want a better job to get more money, and they don't want to get paid what they're worth because they're already getting paid more than that at their current job. Admittedly, we can laugh at that, but at the same time, we've seen throughout the last 100 years or so, and I believe some of this is justified and some of it is played out way exponentially beyond how far it could go with the advent of labor unions and stuff. So we want more. We want us workers. We want more from the corporation or the entity that's providing the opportunity for us in the first place. We want to suck this entity dry. In fact, we need longer breaks now too, and we need to have all kinds of leave and holidays and more and more and more for us, because it's not fair if we don't get more and more and more. So that could be played out to crazy extremes where the corporation itself has to shut its doors because it can't sustain like a parasitic entity or sub entity just feeding off of it. As entrepreneurs, we want to get paid what we're worth, and we're willing to do what it takes to demonstrate that in the marketplace, right? So I heard my friend Jason here talking about the idea of trading hours for dollars and that linear income scenario, which is typical in the employee world, which is typical in even a lot of the self-employed world. Okay, and then once you get into a condition where you've got employees and you've got leverage, right? Then you've got to consider, well, how much of gross receipts can I actually pay out to the accountant, to the salesman, to the whoever, right? The people doing the delivery. Okay, so that's all part of your math. Okay, but that's all creating leverage for you. And typically in a job type condition, let's say here's someone who's producing $1 million a year in gross receipts and gross revenue for the organization. Okay, and they make about 100,000 a year. So they're producing $1 million in terms of gross receipts, and they're getting paid 100,000 a year, right? That could be some workable math. Now, when we look at the accountant person, they're not producing any revenue, but they're necessary, so they need 10% too, right? So that 100% or that $1 million in this case, right, has to go into directions that may or may not be increasing the bottom line. Right? The janitor doesn't increase the bottom line, but you want to walk through clutter, or you want a clean floor for your customers, right? When they enter your store. Just one example. So you get where I'm going with this. There's linear income and the thinkingness that goes along with that. And then there's leveraged income and a completely different mindset. Robert Kiyosaki, Cash Flow Quadrant, is a good book to reference on this. Certainly T. Harv Eker, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Right? Both of which are on our reading lists, by the way. But the idea of transitioning out of the workaday world and linear income into this more leveraged income and potentially an ongoing residual income. So you do the work once, you get paid over and over and over again, because that has sustainability in the marketplace. This value, this product, these benefits that you've now chosen to offer via Amazon or whatever platform, right? As long as it's getting to the marketplace, is causing what? It's causing exchange. And the more value we deliver to the marketplace, the more currency, right? Money comes back in our direction. So what we're looking to do is increase the flow in both directions, right? Just like the tide goes out, and therefore the tide comes in. I'm sure Malcolm can tell us all about the tide, right? So that's just law, right? That's not, you don't have anything to do with that. That law already existed prior to you showing up here and prior to your opinions about it. But there are a lot of people who attempt in life, who attempt to get without giving. I want the tide to come in. I want the currency. And yet I'm not here to cause the current to go out. Well, the tide can't just come in. It's got to go out too. That's just law. You can't break the law. You can only break yourself against the law, right? Trying to break the law. So, so when we think about this, all of us, to whatever capacity we have endeavored so far, have endeavored to to cause that flow to happen and to do it in a more self-determined fashion, to not be subject to an agenda which we have no control over, which we could say, here's the corporate agenda, which a lot of people subscribe to, right? They're like, look, I don't want to think about how do I create value in the marketplace, right? 100 years ago, right, my ancestors were, the blacksmith guy, and he had to go be personally marketable in the village and sell horseshoes to the guy, and he got that job that day, right? He sold that job, and then he had to go sell the other job, with the fence post stuff and the metal, work, right? So you were personally marketable at one point in society. You were personally marketable. The farmer was personally marketable. Here, I grow the corn. You want the corn, okay? And you've got the eggs, right? So we exchange. And obviously we could take this down to caveman levels, sticks and stones, barter, whatever, okay? But the idea of exchange, the idea of volunteerism is alive and well. In fact, it's the form of economics that has stood the test of time and produced more prosperity than any other, scheme that has come and gone, and they've come and gone. Okay. But the idea of using capital as a means of exchange, right, and cooperating with others, if we can cause more, here's the idea for everyone. If we can cause more cooperation in the marketplace in less time, you've got to get rich. It has to work, right? So this is more people exchanging cooperatively and in a volunteeristic way. Yes, I'd like that value, have some of this money, right? The more of that you can cause to occur in the marketplace in less time equals leveraged income, equals potentially exponential increase in your income and in your results, right? Why? Because you've provided more value to the marketplace. I'll quote the late Jim Rohn. One sentence answers the whole riddle, right? He says, if you want to increase your income, increase your value to the marketplace. If you want to increase your income, increase your value to the marketplace. That's it. That's the law of exchange right there. That's the tide going out and coming in. It has to work, has to, right? For a lot of people, there are two considerations just based on that one sentence. One consideration is, well, what value do I have? So now we're getting into self-deprecation, perhaps. Now we're getting into, I think, what Jason and I, we mentioned yesterday here, Psycho-Cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz, classic book, right? So for those of you who don't know what that is, Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon. He noticed that some of the people that he would operate on, they would have major personality changes, having had their surgery. Others who came in perhaps with a low self-image, right? Thinking, well, it must be, I need a smaller nose or something, whatever the story is about it. Okay, great. Here's your smaller nose. They still maintained that low self-image. Why? I look in the mirror, right? You want it, you got it. Okay. So our decisions are made based on our innermost beliefs about who we are. And what he calls a cybernetic mechanism, you could think of it like an autopilot on an airplane. So we set the autopilot, right? which I'm not an airplane guy. Okay. But if I was, I'd be in the cockpit and I'd set the autopilot and we're going from, in my case, Phoenix to pick a place, New York. Well, I'm not going to New York right now, but if I was going to New York, I would set the autopilot for New York. And the plane takes off and we're going towards New York. Now, while we're going to New York, there's turbulence, there's air, there's different temperatures, and there's lots of opportunity, in fact, constant opportunity to knock this plane off course. It's off course almost all the time. Okay. But the cybernetic mechanism is a mechanism, in this case, an autopilot, that is able to be programmed to a predetermined destination and is able to detect any deviation from that predetermined program and is able to make corrections to that program, ensuring that that plane gets back on course 10 million times between Phoenix and New York. Okay. So that's what a cybernetic mechanism is. It's something that can be programmed to a preset destination, can measure any deviation, and can make corrections. Autopilot's a perfect example. The thermostat in your house is a perfect example. We set the thermostat for this temperature, right? We open the door, the cold air comes in, the deviation from the preset program is detected, heater kicks on, right? Here comes the furnace, right? Or in the other direction, now it's hot, great, here comes the air conditioning. That's a cybernetic mechanism. We have that in ourselves. It's called our self-image. And it's pretty much impossible to consistently outproduce our innermost expectations of ourselves. Even if someone has a surge of necessity, yes, burning building kind of stuff, right? Now we have feats of Herculean strength and heroism for a moment, okay? But then it's back to what's normal after that. Same with like income, right? Damn it, I gotta make $10,000 this week. Okay. And they rise to the occasion and they do it. They do it. They figure it out. They get stuff done. They get things going in their business life. But when we look at the rest of the year, they've been running at just 100 grand a year for however long, right? And even though they just had a $10,000 week, they're going to finish that year within 5% or so of what they did last year, even though they proved to themselves that they can outproduce that on the short term, because the self-image is what actually makes our choice. And that's why, my friends, we spend a bunch of time on stuff that apparently has nothing to do with Amazon. Amazon's just a vehicle. There's as many paths as there are people that take them. Okay. Amazon's a very, very robust vehicle. You get a whole lot of reach, right? A whole lot of reach, which is good. We want to increase our value to the marketplace, right? So the first consideration then is, well, what is my value? Well, if you don't know, then how's the public going to know? They can't know if you don't know, right? So let's go be a bit more deliberate about increasing who we are and what we are willing to provide as the purveyor of value in the marketplace. What is it that we are willing and able to provide? That's something you determine for yourself. That's value, right? So to the marketplace is the other part of the equation. Okay, so to the marketplace, what does that mean? Oh, that means that others are made known. Yes, I'm impinging on the attention of others now. So they didn't know that this value exists, that my value, right? They didn't know about that before, but now they're going to know, okay? Because we have outflowed communication in whatever form. Could be advertising, could be, here's the reviews, right? Check out our testimonials, check out what other customers have said, right? So now that message is being delivered into the marketplace. They are getting more of an understanding about this value that you provide, and which does exist, which they were ignorant of. They didn't know that existed. Maybe they suspected. And look, they wanted the solutions all along, right? They got problems that need to be solved. They just didn't know that your product was the solution. Well, please enlighten me. Thank you, right? So increase your value to the marketplace. So there's two things happening in that sentence, right? There's who's doing it and what's the value there, and do you know what that is, right? And can you impress others with an understanding of what that is? And can you do that to a larger degree? Can you leverage your time through mass reach, mass communication, one to many, via whatever the technology is? In the year 2020, Amazon, fantastic, right? So what does this have to do with carnival acts and circus? I don't know. I think our main topic today was the circus. I'll tell you what. You know what? Here's a circus correlation, and then I'll open it up for discussion. So I was watching this movie, and perhaps Malcolm can corroborate this. So there was the circus came to town, right? And on the train or the cart or whatever, here are all the workers, right? Here's the strong man,
Roustabouts.
yeah. So here's all the acts, right? All the attractions, and then but within the crew is the people that set up the tent and everything else. All right, now that it's set up, we're going to go sell tickets now. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, gather round. You're here to see the spectacle of the greatest delights, and we are here to entertain you. And for one dime, for just a 10-cent piece, you can be dazzled and delighted. So they want to get people in the tent buying tickets, right? Putting out their nickel or their dime or whatever it was. Obviously, we're going back in time here a little bit. And then part of the crew, the guys that were setting up the tents yesterday, right? They're in the crowd too.
The bikes,
they start walking forward. They start walking forward with their arms out a little bit, kind of getting the shoulder of the unknowing customers. So they got shills. They got shills planted in the audience. All right. So
you got it.
Now we got to fill this tent, right? So how does that relate to Amazon? Well, my goodness, do you look at the reviews? Oh yeah. So look, here's Malcolm's Circus. It's called, this product. Okay. And here are all the other happy customers who can't wait to buy more, and as evidenced by their reviews. Okay. Now I'm not saying you do this in a sinister or, clandestine way, but I know, okay. But I know that there are ways to say, hey, I'd love a review of this product. We're doing a special right now at 50% off. Give us a review, please. Right. And then you can actually solicit, these types of shills. And I know that's kind of a derogatory term, but what is the best sales weapon in the world? If you couldn't even talk, if you had to sell mute, what would be the one thing, the one weapon? Proof. That's it. Social proof. Look, all these people like it. You'll like it too. Okay. And that's all the features lists and, the specification sheets. Right. Oh, look at the 5-star reviews. Right. So I don't know if that correlates at all to the shills at the circus trying to get the people's dimes or something. But anyway, I'm done.
Spot on, John.
Malcolm, what do you think about this?
Yeah, spot on, John. What we used to do was we used to have we used to have the bearded lady and all the dwarfs. Yeah.
Were you the bearded lady?
Yeah, we had all that. We had 10 or 15 shows. But what our guys used to do with the motorbikes, we used to go around, and where there was big clumps of people standing there, we used to stand at the side and say, wow, we said that motorbike thing was brilliant. The guy fell off and nearly broke his bloody neck. Everybody used to go to see him go and break his bloody neck. But that's what we were doing. You were getting the people in to get the dimes out of the pockets. It was fantastic. And so much, you're spot on, John. So much of that went on. It was unbelievable. Just manipulating people was unbelievable. And it's like you were saying with the other thing, with money and things. I make more things out of, like yesterday, I was out with the fish. I've got a guy who supplies all my eggs. I swap him for the fish for the eggs. I've got another one does potatoes. I've got another one does, if I need diesel for the boats, I go to the petrol station and I give him lobsters. So, and it's amazing how many people come to me now asking for things with it. We don't have to exchange money, but, in the other side of it, we're all living well. So, that's fantastic. So you're spot on. Get in there. Do you want another joke? I've got a joke for you. I've got an Amazon joke for you.
Oh, well,
so the guys.
You're going to save it till next week? You're going to save it till next week?
It's up to you. I might forget it by then.
Very, very good.
It's a quick one. The guys in the loft building model boats, sailing boats with the masts, right? And he's there for years. And in the end, he says, I've got to get these on Amazon. So he gets them on Amazon. So the next thing is, he said, how are you doing with it? He said, it's fantastic. The sales are going through the roof. He's doing
I
it in the
get
loft. Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you guys for your clean jokes. Thank you. Very, very good. And look, I'll just say that all this stuff we're talking about here is above all of it is business ethics. Business ethics.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't screw your
Yeah.
customer or you're going to be out. Right. The marketplace does not tolerate that. So
Look
yeah,
after it.
we use salesmanship. You can call it that. And we do it with thinking of this is going to benefit that person. I'm just going to help them make the decision that they're probably reluctant to make. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So there you go. Thank you, Malcolm. And who else? Who's next?
I just had a quick question real quick. On that book, it was called Cyberkinetic, you said?
Psycho-cybernetics.
Cybernetic. Okay.
Yeah, so psycho dealing with the mind and spirit of the person. Cybernetics dealing with the
Cybernetic,
measurement of predetermined destinations and the ability to make corrections automatically.
Okay. And author again?
Maxwell Maltz, M-A-L-T-Z. In fact, I got a copy somewhere around here. Let me find it. This is a classic. I can't find it. I'll find. Got it. Hold on. Here we are. Psycho-cybernetics.
Cybernetics. Yep.
Maxwell Maltz. Look at it. Can you see the price on that? $1.
Are you dating yourself, John?
A bit. Yeah, a bit. So good stuff. Good stuff.
All
Thank
right.
you. Jason,
Now-
who else? Nobody
Nope.
else?
No, everyone's dead.
That's it. I put everybody to sleep. We're done.
Thank you.
All right. Are
Well,
we good?
hey, John,
Yes.
you know, while you're discussing, I'm kind of going back and forth. There's a few people doing the chat thing here, and there's some stuff on reviews. Here, in just as an example, here in our dental office, we use a platform, a communication platform for patients called Lighthouse. It's pretty popular in the dental environment. And as soon as somebody is, among other things that it does, as soon as somebody's done, like within an hour of an appointment, it goes out with a little blurb. I'm sure many people have seen these kind of things, and it's an invitation for somebody to do a review. You know, it's not like, hey, you pay us this, and we'll give you 50% off. It's not like that. We aren't allowed to do that in the state of California.
Right.
But it goes out, and the reason it goes out so quickly. And I'm kind of curious on feedback for this, was the sooner somebody is able to make a review, the further away you get from, a destination that you just had, the more blurry it kind of gets. So we want to get reviews that are fresh because it gives us maybe a better feeling for where somebody is at, emotionally and mentally after the work that we've done. I suspect that goes on in many industries, but that's just a way that we kind of keep track. And occasionally you get somebody who's really not happy about something, but most of the time we seem to be doing okay. But it's those onesies and twosies that kind of, that's like a little stab in the side that, you wonder what is it that we did that really upset this person? And frankly, 9 times out of 10, it comes down to the pocketbook, something, because, dentistry is not it's not a cheap direction, and some people, they, in the area that we live, sometimes that's an issue for some people, but doesn't change our care and our willingness to help people. It's just it makes you wonder what kind of motivation certain people have. And I think in all the things that we've been talking over all these, at least all the things I've attended so far and what you've been talking about, a lot of it is motivation and self-worth and all these things that go on with people and why they respond the way they do and what they say. So just, and it's just, what you're talking about today is kind of reiterating all this stuff. So I'm glad I'm on this conversation. There's a reason I'm here. So that's what I got to say. Thanks.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, Mark. And you're not going to please everybody. I saw somebody put that in the chat earlier, right? So here's the person who's only satisfied by being dissatisfied, right? It's kind of like the old, somebody's sharing their screen. Hey, William, I'm going to go ahead and kill your screen share. Okay. So what was the saying? It's the airlines. Like there was a joke. U.S. Airlines policy is we're not happy until you're not happy. So that could seem how it is, with certain industries. But certainly you want to do good work, and you'd like for people to appreciate your work. That's validation, and that's also social proof. And I've seen where on Amazon, where people have left questions or reviews, and the seller responds to the questions. I've also seen this off platform, right, on XYZ website or whatever, where people have left reviews, and they were dissatisfied in some way, and customer service got back with them. Hey, here's our 800 number. Call us, and we'll make sure you're happy. Right? We'll replace the product or whatever it needs. Personally, for me, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but when I go onto Amazon and I read reviews on a product that I'm considering buying, I usually look at number of reviews, which the more robust that number is, the more traction that product or that seller has in the marketplace. But also, is it at least 4 stars, 4.5, something like that? Okay, well, that's good. Now let's look down, and I disregard the 1-star people. If I could get the 0 stars, I would. This is the worst piece of crap in the world. Yada yada yada. Where almost everybody else is 5 stars, a couple of 4 stars in there. Okay, there's an idiot. I get it. That's fine. I'm not interested in that person's ideas though. So, yeah, I think we're good as long as we're leading with the proper value that we're purporting is in this product. Then yeah, if they got a defect or something, we'll fix it. Hey, right? That's life. But some people are only satisfied by being dissatisfied and making sure you and the whole damn world knows it. What are you going to do? Right? So, yeah, good times. Who's next? Anybody else?
I have a
John?
question.
Yes.
John, it's me, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
I'm
Hey, Maria.
with you for the business strategy on Monday with your group on Monday, most likely. So, but I'm working on my goals, and should I be when I set a goal, should I be looking at how much revenue I want to bring in or profit? Yes, profit, right?
I would say profit, because the goal is based on what it's going to do for you in your life. So I could have, in terms of like gross revenue, I could have, here's $10 billion. And my margin on that is 0.00001%. My life doesn't change, right? So what's relevant to you is going to be that which causes you to have options and freedoms in your life and experiences that you're looking to have. So I'd say base everything on the net result.
Okay, thank you.
You're
I'll
welcome.
see you on Monday.
All right, you sure will.
Okay, great.
I have a question.
Hey, Adele.
Hi, yeah. My question is, after the business strategy with you, should we expect the accountability rep to continually email us with the steps? Are there more steps to follow?
No, after that, you've graduated and you're on your own. We're gonna kick you out of here and goodbye. No.
Okay. Remember, everything is by perception.
Yeah. So no, Adele, look, you're a valuable part of this community. So keep showing up regardless of what stage. I don't care if you're 10 years in the business, as long as we're running this, this forum, you're welcome here. And you're an asset, an ever increasing asset, because we've got people here who are further down the road than you, who, when, the new guy has a question, here comes the answer from somebody like, Rebecca or Pam or Amy. Well, I haven't seen Amy or Pam in a while. Where are they? I don't know.
Another new guy.
Yeah. So the idea here is that you can also, like in my case, Adele, all the stuff that I share with you guys, I have to learn myself to the degree that I could apply it in my own life and help others with it. Right. So it's one thing to just be the student. It's another thing to be intend to be the teacher. Right. So
yeah, it's doing us good. I think this kind of forum we got, it's doing us good. It's immersing to those who have the same line of thinking and direction and same interest in the topics we discuss, because not all people would have the same interest, right? So if we share the same interest, I think it's a good it's a good like a venue to just sit down together, listen, and feel one another, even though we are too far away from each other physically, but we feel each other, right? So together.
Yeah.
The only thing I will be looking forward to is I'm working still full time, and I will try I will try my boss to agree with me to if I can change my my schedule, because we are allowed for a compressed schedule, but I will try, because normally I'm not available with this schedule. I'm just available during this week because of the you know what's going on, the lockdown and everything. It's good to us. I have an opportunity to sit down with you guys, but hopefully I can change my schedule.
Okay, well, let's work on that. And look, right now there's the whole world is kind of on its ear. So we'll see what's most workable for you. But the good news is that we're all on the internet. So there's no quarantine on the internet unless you live in China.
Exactly.
And then, yeah. And so we're running 24/7. Guys, it is, just so you know, it has been all hands on deck around here. Those of you meeting with me, like today, for example, it is madhouse, just absolute madness. Exactly the way I like it. Exactly the way I like it. Okay. So I think Virginia or John was going to come out here next. Who's that? Virginia? John?
I was just wondering if anybody knew, sometimes when I buy things on Amazon, they send me an email. They do send saying, would you like to review this? And then sometimes I bought stuff and they never send that. Does anybody know?
Seller. Yeah.
It's the seller doing it?
Yeah. So Virginia just showed up on Amazon, bought John's stuff, right? She received John's stuff, and a couple days later, the seller, in this case John, emailed Virginia, hey, we hope you're liking our stuff. Please leave a review, right? So now I'm soliciting the review from the buyer via the Amazon platform. So that's how the seller is actually getting in communication with you, making sure you're happy, and soliciting, like was said earlier. Mark shared that here in the dentistry world, okay, someone's pleased with the service, the faster we get that review, the better. Now they're delighted with the work. They see the bright, shiny teeth, and, you know, and go ahead and tell us about that now, if you would. In fact, tell everybody about that, right?
I thought you weren't allowed to have contact with the buyer, only Amazon was. So you are allowed to send something to them via the Amazon platform.
Virginia?
Yes.
Yeah, I know with Jungle Scout, I don't know about Helium 10, but Jungle Scout, you can set it up to automatically ask for reviews. And the thing that Amazon doesn't allow is when you bribe for reviews. You just ask for reviews. Anyone can do it, but it's nice to have it set up to automatically send to your customers. They have a script that is legal with Amazon or according to the rules, and you can't promise them anything for a review or anything like that. But you can set it up to automatically ask for a review.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. So that's with Jungle Scout.
I believe it may be possible with Helium 10 too. It's just that I have Jungle Scout.
Okay, I'll ask Helium. Thank you.
You're welcome. I would add to that my own personal experience. There are things that I've purchased on Amazon where I've been asked to give a review, and it's been something that I'm not excited about reviewing. I may or may not, depending on how much time I have, give the review. Like for the light bulbs, I needed some light bulbs to go underneath the countertop with the microwave to shine down on the stove thing, right? So I got the little LED light bulbs. They wanted me to review them. Yeah, they light up. Thank you. I don't know what else to say, right? So something like that. Now, in another case, I bought here's one. I bought a tactical pen, right? So this is an aluminum, like aircraft grade aluminum pen. It's tough. You could take it out in the desert. You could smash it on stuff. You can break windows with it like a survival tool, right? And there was a bunch of different pens I could have bought. I bought this one, and the company sent it to me I like it. It's nice. Couple days later, here comes the email. Hey, we're a small, family-owned business, veteran-owned business. We hope you enjoy our tactical pen. By the way, we've got these other items too, which I wound up buying one. Here's paracord bracelet, same company, right? So they're upselling me now. Did you see our paracord bracelets? Did you see our other cutting tools and whatever? And I left the review, which was a pleasing review. You know what? I was looking at other pens. I noticed that some of them were the crappy plastic ones. This one was great. It's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you to the brand. Take Flight is the brand in this case. So great. So they got what they wanted. I got what I wanted. Okay. Now, had I been not pleased with it, you could damn well bet that they would be on me making sure that they made this customer happy. Hey, we're a small family-owned, veteran family, right? So that's just part of the appeal. It's like you're not just dealing with Amazon. Now you're part of the family, and we want to make sure you're happy. So I hope that example kind of helps. It also, in my case, it was dependent on the relevance of the product. Light bulbs, I don't give a damn. I needed a light bulb, right? This stuff, yeah, I want quality, right? So
What
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what I have found, when you do a positive review, although they didn't bribe you for the review, they will often then offer you discount on other things. So, and that's kind of nice
right.
when you really like the product. I never review something if I hate it, but I do review it if I like it.
Right. Good stuff. Yeah, and they fetched more money out of me. They got a repeat sale.
Yeah.
So very good. I think was it Carol Ann or somebody else wanted to jump out here? John.
This is Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
Hi. Hey, I had a really great experience with Amazon not too long ago. I travel a ton, did. And so I ordered face masks with ear cover up, whatever, to keep out noise. And I've ordered so many of them trying to find one that would work. And I paid quite a bit of money for this particular one, and it didn't quite fit either. I've kind of got a pointy nose. So anyway, I wanted to return it, and they said, nope, just keep it. And I'm like, but it was $60. It wasn't cheap. And I said, no, I want to return it. I didn't wreck the box or anything. Anyway, and they said, nope, just keep it and regift it to someone. I was so impressed with that. I wrote him a great review because, and then I thought, gosh, does it cost Amazon money to get things sent back? I don't know. I don't know how that works, but whatever it was, I was so impressed because it was just a really kind, no, just gift it to someone else. We want you to be happy. That was really great customer service, I thought.
Good observation, Brenda. That is really good stuff. And that's worked in with the profit margin. We can afford to lose a few units because we have proper margin, which what everyone here is learning with the whole blue sky concept is that you're not just doing the arbitrage thing with Chinese junk, right? This isn't a race to the bottom. This is making a proper markup, 30, 40%, maybe more, right? That gives you a bit of flexibility, and now you can afford to dazzle and delight the customer who otherwise would be unsatisfied.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Anybody else before we wrap up today?
I wanted to make a comment, John.
Yes.
I watched the last set of on the Jetstream, the last set of videos, and it was very refreshing, especially the Earl Nightingale out of his material, and I was so happy that you selected that one in particular.
Thank you.
Very, very helpful.
Oh, good. And I want everybody to get through all that. In fact, we could do that in the next. Well, if you're brand new here, it takes a couple of weeks, but go at your own pace. But if you've been hanging around for months here, let's get you through all that stuff. That's good stuff. Get with your accountability rep, which I suspect we are about to have a couple more accountability reps joining our ranks, because I know a lot of you were asking about that. And I think with that, let's go ahead and end on a high note. We're going to wrap up here. I'm just looking at our chat. Esther, love Helium-10. Yep, good stuff. All right, Jones, thank you for your input as well. Thank you all for all that you contribute here to the group, right? So I've said this before, I'll say it again. If it was just me talking to a camera lens, I guess we'd get something out of it. I certainly hope we do. But just the fact that we get to interact like this, I think exponentially increases the relevance and usability of what we're doing here in this forum. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. You guys have a great weekend. I'm going to be back with you on Monday So,
And you,
uh,
John.
yeah,
Take
let's
care,
get
Weekend,
some
John.
stuff
everyone.
done.
Weekend,
All
John.
right,
Cool.
see you soon.
Great evening,
Everybody
everyone.
stay well.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.